Don't just stand there, she's drowning. For God's sake, somebody help her." The shout ripped through the lakeside crowd like a knife. Dozens of eyes turned toward the water, where a little girl's hand splashed wildly before vanishing under the dark surface. People gasped, they cried out, but not one of them moved. And in that frozen moment of fear, the last man anyone expected, the ruthless billionaire everyone called heartless, threw himself into the lake. Unaware that the child he was about to save carried his own blood, the sun hung low over the lake, painting the water gold. Families lingered along the shore. Children laughed, and the breeze carried the scent of grilled food and summer grass. But all of it turned to silence when a piercing scream cracked the air. A girl's voice, young, desperate, and fading, echoed across the water. Small arms thrashed for the surface, her face breaking through for just seconds before sinking again. The crowd stiffened, horrified but paralyzed. Some clutched their phones, others cried out. Yet not one soul stepped forward, and then, from the back of the crowd, a man known for his iron fists and colder heart suddenly moved. The billionaire, powerful, untouchable. Fear tore off his jacket, tossed aside his watch worth more than most people's homes, and dived headfirst into the lake. The shock rippled through the onlookers. The man who had built an empire through ruthless deals, who was whispered about in boardrooms as merciless, was now cutting through the water like a soldier at war. His chest burned, his muscles strained, but he reached her tiny, fragile, sinking fast. With one arm, he lifted her above the waves, her soaked hair clinging to her face, her lips blue from the cold. She coughed weakly, clinging to him as though she knew her very life depended on his strength. His lungs screamed for air, but he pushed forward, dragging them both toward the shore. When his feet touched the mud at the bottom, the crowd erupted, pulling them onto solid ground. The girl collapsed in his arms, trembling, gasping. He wrapped her in his jacket, pulling her close. And then he saw her face. His world stopped. Those eyes, large, brown, filled with tears, were not strangers. They were his own. The same eyes that stared back at him in the mirror each morning. The shape of her smile, even through pain, mirrored someone he had loved long ago. And in that instant, the harsh, untouchable billionaire felt his chest crack with a truth so sharp it nearly broke him. That child was his memories he had buried years ago rushed back. A woman warm, strong, beautiful, who had once held his heart. A love broken by pride and power. She had left, carrying a secret he had never been told. And now, standing on the lakeside, drenched and trembling, he understood that this little girl was not just a stranger. She was his blood. His daughter. The girl's lips parted. Her voice came in a whisper so soft, so fragile, it almost shattered him. "I want my mama." And then the crowd split as a woman rushed forward, dropping to her knees beside them. She pulled the girl into her arms, her tears falling as relief shook her body. When she lifted her face, the billionaire's heart stopped once more. It was her, the woman he had lost, the love he had never stopped carrying in silence. For a moment, no one breathed. Their eyes locked, heavy with years of pain, questions, and silence. She didn't need to say it, and neither did he. The truth was written in every tear, in every tremble, in the way the girl clung to both of them. The crowd whispered in awe, their fear replaced by shock and wonder. But the billionaire's voice finally broke through, softer than anyone had ever heard it. Trembling with the weight of a man who had just been reborn, family is the only fortune that matters. The words silenced even the loudest whispers. They were simple, but they carried the weight of every broken bond, every lonely night, every missed chance. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He didn't demand thanks. He simply chose to stay, to protect her, to never let go again. And on the quiet shore of a golden lake, a man known as Ruthless discovered the only treasure worth more than his empire, his daughter.